Knitting Club Showdown. Last Tuesday, I found myself in the peculiar position of being the only person under 70 at my Grandma Edna's weekly knitting club. I had foolishly agreed to give her a ride, only to be roped into staying for what I assumed would be a serene afternoon of sipping tea and discussing the merits of wool versus acrylic. But as I settled into a chair that smelled vaguely of lavender and mothballs, I noticed a strange tension in the air. The chatter was hushed, and the usual clinking of knitting needles seemed oddly synchronized, like soldiers preparing for battle. It all began when Grandma Edna pulled out a crumpled letter from her floral tote bag. "It was the third one this week," she whispered to me conspiratorially, her eyes darting around the room as if expecting to see a shadowy figure lurking in the corner with a crochet hook. The letters, she explained, were from a rival crochet gang, the Hooked Hooligans, who had been threatening the peace of the knitting community with vague promises of unraveling chaos. The club members, a formidable force of needle-wielding nanas, were already discussing defensive strategies, including the possibility of yarn bombing the hooligans' favorite park bench. As the meeting progressed, the atmosphere grew even more intense. Plans were hatched to create knitting ninjas, complete with stealthy balaclavas and camo cardigans. I watched in awe as Grandma Edna perfected her pearl punch, an impressive maneuver that involved a swift flick of the wrist and a menacing glare. Just as I was contemplating whether I should start carrying a skein for self-defense, one of the club members, Mildred, deciphered the cryptic threats. With her bifocals perched precariously on her nose, she revealed that the letters were actually automated marketing emails from a new fabric softener brand, promising to soften the competition. The room fell silent, and then erupted into laughter. The realization that these threats were nothing more than a marketing ploy sent waves of relief and hilarity through the group. The thought of going to wool over fabric softener was as absurd as it was amusing. To commemorate the newfound peace, the club decided to knit a giant ceasefire quilt. As I packed up to leave, Grandma Edna winked at me, saying, "Well, I guess we were all wound up over nothing. But at least we know we're ready to stitch up any loose ends."